Hey everybody, this is Jay the Disruptor, and I think it's time for us to talk about what we're seeing in the market. Things falling apart, from my perspective at least, and I think you might be curious to see what I'm thinking. So I wanted to jump into this as well as I can, and just kind of talk to you about what I'm seeing. So here we are. We're looking at a chart that I made yesterday. This is the S&P 500. You see I was able to actually just connect these 2 points right here, and sometimes I like to shoot back or extend my points, and I was shocked to find that it connected right at the bottom of the COVID crash. So we've zoomed in here just to give a closer view of what's been going on, and you can see that, yeah, we have crossed below that trend line. Now, that's not too significant. Diagonal lines are hard to are hard to make decisions off of. In my opinion, horizontal lines make a lot more sense. But it's significant, I think, in the fact that here we are in the deepest trend you could possibly imagine, and we might have just broken through it. And so that was interesting to me. Obviously, we're in the bearish range up here in the RSI. That's right there. So there was some concern. Some things were falling apart, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is the Dow Jones. Now, if for any reasons, if you're not familiar with what Dow theory is, Dow theory comes from Charles Henry Dow, and he basically says that these two averages, transportations, which used to just be railroads, and industrials, they work together, right? Because industrials make products, and then those products get shipped on railroads. Obviously, things changed to where now it includes anything that can carry products. So, airlines and taxis, whatever. Anyway, so basically, Dow's opinion was, or his theory, and it's worked out really well, was that these two things have to work in tandem. And if they work in tandem bullishly, then you're in a bullish trend. And if they work in tandem, horizontally, then you're trendless, right? And when things start to go down together, right, that means that things aren't working at all. And there can be divergence where one is going down and the other's flat or something like that. And that means hey, let's see what's going on here, right? But when the two work together, that's significant. So let's go back and take a look at this again. So, all right, so here we are. We're looking at the chart, right? And you can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? It's making some lower highs here, right? There we are, high, lower high, right? Over here, we've got the same thing, transportation's high, lower high, and that's been happening for a while on transportations. Transportations was breaking down before the industrial averages was. But now they're both struggling here. The key thing I want to show you is this golden line here. That's the 200-day moving average, right? Here they are both dipping below the 200-day moving average. And if you could look closer here, you would notice that it went up, tested the 200, and didn't make it. And the same happened here. It tested the 200 and didn't make it. So let's review. We have the S&P 500 falling below the trend line. We have the Dow Jones averages, industrials and transportations, both looking like they're making lower highs and both going below the 200-day average. So that brings us to this. What I decided to do is I wanted to put the indices together in one chart. You've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the top left and the Dow Jones Transportation Average in the bottom left. We just talked about that. But over here in the top right, you've got the S&P 500 index, and the worst chart of all of them is the Nasdaq 100, right? All of these are below the 200-day average. All of them. And whether or not you believe in, the head and shoulders pattern that I think we've been seeing here. You got a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, shoulder, a head, a shoulder. Here's kind of a weird one. Maybe that one's not as clear. But definitely on these two, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, we're seeing head and shoulders patterns, and they're unfortunately looking like they play out. So if you don't know, the neckline, right, where these two lows connect, that is where we officially would be kind of exiting any sort of a distribution phase and entering a markdown phase. And a markdown phase would clearly be significant. That a markdown phase would basically be the opposite of this bullish trend, but going down, right? So anyway, so I'm hoping that that was a good opportunity for us to kind of chat and talk about what I'm seeing in the market. Stay frosty. I don't know. I mean, I guess, or you start buying puts or something like that. How I would love to hear how you're going to play the market the way it looks. I know for me, I've been out cash for a while. I have played some U.S. natural gas and some gold miners, which I think that's probably going to work out okay. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter. I'm at the Disruptor. That's with 2 E's. Hey, cheers, y'all.